Hey everyone, this is Mike Shaw with Planit for Photographers. Today we're going to talk about the exposure tool. The exposure tool is the fourth option under the special interest category. Let's go ahead and select it like this. Now there are several different modes within this tool. You access them by tapping right just here. If you're on iOS like we are here, there's 5 different modes: manual, ND calculator, scene mode, reflected light meter mode, and picture mode. And for Android there are 6. The difference between these different modes is how the exposure value is acquired. Today we're only going to cover the manual mode, so we're going to choose it here just like this. Now, in the manual mode, you start by choosing your exposure value, and you do that by tapping on the EV letters just like this. What you then see is a list of possible EV values ranging from +19 to -16 depending on your scene. You'll choose one that's appropriate to your scene and go from there. Now, I just want to explain a little bit more about the background of exposure value and what it really represents. The exposure value is actually a combination of camera settings based on a reference ISO of 100. It's actually not a measure of your scene's brightness per se. Instead, it refers specifically to your camera's exposure settings. And when I say camera exposure settings, what I mean is a specific combination of aperture, or f-stop, shutter speed, and ISO. It's actually more accurate to use the term light value, or LV, to characterize the brightness of the scene instead of exposure value, or EV. Unfortunately, no one really knows what the term light value means because no one really uses it, but everyone knows about EV, so that's why we decided to go ahead and use EV instead to represent the subject brightness here. So just to be clear, the process of matching your camera's exposure value, in other words, the shutter speed, aperture, and ISO, to the scene's light value, or its brightness, is the basis of setting a correct exposure, probably the most important skill in good photography. This exposure tool in Planit will help you master this skill. The key is just to remember that we're going to use EV to describe how bright the subject is instead of LV. Alright, so let's go through a couple of different examples. First, let's consider a daytime scene under sunlight. When we look at the list, what we see is the appropriate EV is 15. So let's tap on that here, like this, to select it. After we've chosen our EV to be 15, we see here the recommended camera exposure settings on the second row of the display right along here. These are one set of exposure settings that are needed to capture a correctly exposed subject at an EV of 15. The first value is the shutter speed, 1/500th of a second. The second is the aperture, f8, and the last one is ISO, 100. Now, what helps is to appreciate that the values on the first row and the second row actually combine to make up an equation. And in order to make the equation work, one of these values has to be a variable. Now here, since we set the ISO to be 100 and the aperture to be f8, the shutter speed is calculated automatically. So in this case, the shutter speed would be the variable, and that's indicated by the auto text right here. For example, you can see that when I change the ISO to 200 like this, what you see, look here, the shutter speed is correspondingly changed to 1/1000th of a second. That makes sense. A more sensitive ISO from 100 to 200 requires less light. In other words, a shorter shutter speed from 1/500th to 1/1000th of a second, half as long. So how would you use this feature? Well, remember that we've chosen an EV of 15, which corresponds to a landscape photo taken during daytime under sunlight. This means the settings that you see here are a good combination of camera settings that you can use. In fact, if you have a modern camera with auto exposure, these are probably settings it automatically sets for you. But now, what if you want to make a different type of outdoor daytime subject, say a portrait, but still with an EV of 15? Surely the exposure settings are going to be different, right? And you're right, it may not be such a great idea to shoot a portrait with an aperture of f8. You might like to choose a larger aperture, like f1.8, to get that dreamy bokeh effect. Okay, so let's see what happens when we make that change. Like we do here, we'll change it to f1.8. And look over here, the shutter speed has correspondingly changed. Now it's reading 1/10,000th of a second. In practice, 1/8000th of a second shutter speed would work just fine. So again, that makes sense. All right, now suppose we want to shoot a waterfall. The settings will surely be different again. And now, since we're going to want to control the shutter speed, instead of it being automatically calculated, the variable here is going to become the aperture. So what we'll do is we'll press and hold on the aperture value until it becomes auto, just like this. And now you can set the shutter speed to be one better suited to the moving water of the waterfall. So for example, a longer shutter speed, like 1/4 of a second or 1/8 of a second, would be appropriate. And this way you get that silky water effect that's absolutely stunning. But now we have a problem. We see here that the aperture setting is shown in red, as something beyond f32. And what are we going to do? Well, here's where you might want to use an ND filter and long press to make it auto, just like this. And having done that, now we can go back and change the aperture to the smallest one that we might want to use, like f16. And now we can see that Planit tells us that a 5-stop ND filter will do the job. All right. So these two examples show how the camera exposure settings can be adjusted, and you can see how Planit can be useful for determining the exposure settings of your camera for different types of scenes. But let's take a deeper look at the other settings, but first let's reset a couple values. We'll start by changing the shutter speed back to auto, like this, and we'll turn off the ND filter option by selecting no filter just over here like this. Okay. All right, so now let's say it's no longer daytime, but it's night, and we're no longer outside, but we're indoors. So going back to the EV list, we find a few entries for indoor EVs. EV6 is for bright indoors, EV5 is for normal indoors. Let's go ahead and choose EV5, and suppose we now want to shoot indoor portraits. So we'll change the aperture back to f1.8. So we'll do that here, and when we do that, Planit now tells us that we need to use a shutter speed of 1/10 of a second. A tenth of a second might be a little slow for model shooting. The normal movement of people, even sitting still, will inevitably cause the portraits to be blurry. So we need a faster shutter speed. What can we do? Well, of course, one option is to adjust the ISO, since we want to keep the aperture at f1.8, which in fact is as open as it possibly can be generally. So instead of directly changing the ISO, we can let Planit calculate the best value automatically for us. To do that, we simply long press on the ISO to set it to auto like this. In other words, the ISO becomes the variable. So now we can decide which shutter speed we want to use. Maybe we decide an 80th of a second would be a good choice for the shutter speed. So when we set the shutter speed to an 80th of a second, look, Planit automatically tells us what ISO we need to use, which in this case is ISO 800. Now, some of you probably realize that this is exactly what the auto ISO feature on your camera does, which is to automatically pick the best ISO based on the minimum shutter speed. All right, let's just do two more examples, both at night. The first example is capturing a city skyline at night. When we go back to our list of EV options, we see that a city skyline at night has an EV of 1. So we'll set that here like this. And since this is a landscape photo, we're going to go ahead and use an aperture of f8. So we will set that here. And we'll choose the shutter speed to be auto. We'll let that be the variable since we're certainly going to be using a tripod. And finally, we want to use the smallest ISO possible to get the highest quality image, which will be in this case 100. So we'll set that here. What do we find? Planit tells us that 32 seconds is the best shutter speed for this. We'll go ahead with a common shutter speed of 30 seconds in the field. Super simple. All right, our last example, shooting the night sky. So here we go back to the EV list, and we can see that EV options for the night sky ranges from -6 to -8. Let's go ahead and select -6. And we typically use a large aperture for a night sky, f2.8. So let's go ahead and we will set that right here. And for night photography, we're always also going to want to use a high ISO. So let's go ahead and set that to ISO 3200 right just here. And now what we find if we go back to the shutter speed, which is the variable, we need a shutter speed of 16 seconds right just here. All right. Good. Okay, so let's recap. What you've seen here, you can pretty much simulate the exposure settings for any scene's light condition. The exposure feature in Planit is very powerful and can cover all the situations. The theory behind the manual mode is to let you select the EV for the light conditions you want to shoot. This ability lets you preview the camera settings you might use and then pre-configure your camera ahead of time, so there's no need to panic when you actually start shooting. That's it for the manual mode. Until next time, this is Mike Shaw saying thanks for watching and best of luck planning with Planit.